Okay, I want to welcome you to our ZBA at February 15th, 2022 meeting. I'd like to do the intros. You can introduce yourself, Raylene.
Raylene Rice.
Teresa Bascom.
I'm Terry Bonser, I'm the chair.
Romeo Dene.
Kevin Bassett.
Kevin is, we got a seat.
Mark, move the thing closer to you.
Just turn it towards you.
There you go.
Okay, so let me read you the rules.
You need to seat me, right?
Yeah, we got to seat you, so. But we got to open the meeting, so we're not, we haven't even opened it. Okay, the rules are the chairman shall call the hearing into session and read the application. The members of the board may ask questions at any point during the testimony. Each person who appears shall require to state their name, address, and indicate their affiliation with the case. Any member of the board, through the chairman, may request any party to the case to speak a second time. Any party to the case who wants to ask a question of another party to the case must do so through the chairman. The applicant shall be called to present their case to the, and those abutters in favor shall be allowed to speak. The abutters in opposition shall be allowed to speak. The board will hear any evidence that pertains to the case from other parties that wish to speak. The applicant and those in favor shall be allowed to speak in rebuttals. Those in opposition shall be allowed to speak in rebuttal. The hearing shall be, then we'll close the hearing after we hear all this, and then we'll do our vote. We have a time, we can do it right now, or we can postpone the vote and bring it up. And then you'll, okay, so that's that. Let's see. So this is, I'm gonna open the hearing for, this is for public hearing for case 22001 VA. This is an application from David Lautz on behalf of the owner Gregory Lautz, requesting a variance from Article 2, Section 3C(a) of the Nottingham zoning ordinance to permit the building of a shed with a 2-foot setback. It's actually, it says 1.5 feet, right? So we'll say with a 1.5 foot setback from the property line where a 20-foot setback is required. The property is located at 9 Lookout Point Lane in Nottingham, New Hampshire, and is identified as tax map 71, lot 52.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we seat Kevin for Bonnie tonight.
Yes, and do we have a second to seat Kevin?
Yes.
Okay, so
Second.
there's a motion and a second to seat Kevin to take Bonnie's place for tonight on this case. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you're seated, Kevin?
Do we have to do that every time there's an alternate?
Yeah, every time there's an alternate,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, thank you.
When there's a member absent, yeah,
Right.
they need to be seated. Whenever there's a member absent and an alternate
Gotcha.
shows up, we seat them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the applicant can come up and
This over here.
Good evening. My name's Dave Losey. That's how you spell.
Oh, Losey,
pronounce.
okay.
Yeah, it's been beat up for a long time. And I live at 9 Lookout Point Lane, and I built a new house there last year.
I'm sorry, can you bring the mic just a little closer? please?
Yep. I don't know if it's working or.
Speak up.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I live on 9 Lookout Point Lane, and I built a new house there last year. And I'm looking to, I wanted to put a shed on the side of my property to be able to put, you know, my snow blower and incidental stuff like that in there. In pursuing that idea, coming to the town, meeting with the building inspector, and saying that we need to come to the ZBA as a town requirement for this because that's the town ordinance, I guess, and I am applying to set that shed on that, if you were on Lookout Point Lane facing the house, it would be on the left side of the house. There's a 10-foot property setback line there now. that was an easement when we built the house. And it is set for an 8x12 building. And it is 1.5 from the setback line. Where the setback line is where those stakes were that were put in by my surveyor, and that's what we used, and they used points to set the house, so we were in compliance with setbacks and all that, in our building envelope. 8x12 shed, and this is gonna be a, same product as the house, same materials that we're using, metal roof, the Maybach wood siding. It's not a cheap shed, but it's gonna match the house.
Okay,
This is right where the propane tanks are, right?
In front of it, yes. On the little, you have the sketch from the surveyor.
yeah,
So it's really, the way he put it on there, it's really a little further up forward. The back, looking from lookup window, back right corner is really more up forward, and it's more or less tucked in that corner of the offset of the house. So it's really a little bit more in there. He had 1.5 on here, but I think it's really like 2 feet to be in reality, but it's 1.5.
So is it 1.5?
On the survey plot plan.
Is it
1.5.
2?
1.5 feet.
1.5.
And the property line is shown where the, there's a wood fence.
no,
It's just, huh?
that's not, that's probably line with those stakes that we looked down.
Yeah, though,
I thought the stakes were the setback.
No.
There's stakes where the shed was going, but there's fluorescent stakes where the property line.
the stakes that you saw, property line. The fence is my neighbor's fence. There's a, I'm not sure what the distance is on that between my property line and their fence. I don't know what that is, but it's, my property line is where the stakes are.
Right, yours were, yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Well, his property line, when we went over, there was the fence, but the fence is probably a good 10 or 15 feet off, it's probably at least, maybe 15 feet off the property line.
Yeah,
Property line with those fluorescent stakes that went right down.
that's right,
through.
yeah,
I walked down through there, yeah,
yeah. And
probably
then,
had sneakers on, so he,
yeah, it goes down and then it goes down to the big rock and it jogs,
yeah, there was a little, yeah.
yeah.
the way this, what I'm seeing over here on this, map, the, land survey,
On the left-hand side.
the building is, located between what I thought were the stakes and the wood fence.
No, it wasn't, no. Those stakes that were down, right, when you look down there, you had a bunch of stakes just off the building.
Yeah.
Where the gas bottles were,
Yeah,
but, yeah.
that's the setback.
No,
No, that's where the shed was going between those stakes
And
and
the
the
house.
house. Yeah,
yeah.
it was really tight.
It's, yeah, it's,
Didn't look like the easiest place to put a shed,
well, it's the best place, because the other side of the house would
but
have
the
been.
I mean, there were rocks. You
It's
said you were
fla-
gonna put snow blowers in there and stuff,
No, it's flat, but it's end loaded.
yeah.
It's end loaded, and that's the way to have access to it. It's not side loaded. There's no room to
Right,
do
right.
side loaded.
No,
It would be end loaded.
you're just gonna build it in place?
Yeah, it's right on the ground. Yeah.
You're gonna come around
Level
the
it out
other
a
way?
little bit over there.
Pardon?
You're gonna come around to build it, or?
No, I've come through the front. It's,
Oh, you're just gonna come along that side?
yeah, in the front of the house. That's,
Did you look up at the back, I mean, that back corner? I know you got your septic system there, but,
the septic's in the front. It's the
well,
way- it's-
I mean, I call that the back, but I mean the front. But your septic's there, I mean, you had a little spot up in that one corner you could put.
You mean up further that way? The
Well,
further I go
where-
towards,
Right where your septic, when you're standing in the road, looking at your looking at
septic's in
your
the,
house.
yeah, it's in the front of the house?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's the septic, I see 2 tanks, I could see 2 covers.
Yep.
And that's a small septic in there.
Yeah, it's a,
Right,
it's like a treatment plant.
right,
Yeah,
right.
and,
right.
so in that little,
Yeah, you had that little corner, I thought maybe you could
yeah,
have.
that's where all our leaching is, the small
Then
leaching.
I looked at you, brought up your leach field plan, it wasn't,
Yeah.
it showed a little room there. I don't know. Trying to find, I blew it up, one of these up a little bit, over here.
That's right in front of the house.
Yeah, but up in here, you had a little more, like up in that 10-foot setback, you had a little, you might snake it up into there a little.
Yeah, I can show you this here.
You got this, that big plan, yeah, right. Okay, you got a good, big, full plan.
So,
But I thought like, right, you know, you got like here, you know, you could squeeze 5 feet and 5 feet,
there's a huge tree here,
yeah.
and the grade does.
It does grade, yeah, it
quite
goes
a
up,
bit.
up a lot.
Yeah, and there's, right here, actually that big tree's right there inside that pin right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the grade goes up like this substantially.
Yeah, it was hard to tell with the snow.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, my property line's really like down here, and the road's up
Yeah, that was
here.
kind of funny how your property line was way down.
Yeah, so I only had room to do it, that's why it's right in this corner here, right in here. Because this type of system that's this treatment
Right.
plant system, it's 2 tanks and this is like a small leach field, there's a little D-box here.
Right,
And it's a 1-pipe drain pipe, which is perks there.
Right.
So pretty much by the time the effluent is treated here and all that, it's pretty much clean before it even gets here. That's
Right.
the whole idea of the system.
yeah, because we went over and looked, I didn't realize, until I came home and looked, and I saw it was a,
Yeah. So there
advanced
isn't much
treatment
room to be
system.
from, can't build something here to there because of this leaching area.
Yeah.
And you need to leave access to the tank if you ever gotta get there.
Yeah,
So what about back here?
You can't,
But
that's
there
all,
isn't any room here?
this is all I can't build in this area, that's the shoreline protection.
Yeah.
I am right at the setback at 50 feet.
well, according to the thing, actually,
We have
you
a
were a little,
variance, we got a variance.
you were a
for
little
this.
under it, yeah.
We had gotten a
There.
variance for that.
Because you got, I mean, you
Gotcha.
had a little spot down here that was, I mean, you could get a little further away from the line than,
Yeah, but
I
not
didn't
really.
want anything going down towards the water, I'm trying to keep away
Yeah,
from.
DES will
Right.
jump in on that.
If away from the water and.
and you
get a
were on this
permit.
side at one time, right? Weren't you on?
Yeah. It's just that this side was, the grade's like this again, and then it's quite high from when we did all the fill-in around here, between here and the drop-off here. So it's tough to put it either place, you know?
Okay.
It's limited, very limited on space, but that's all I can, have on there on that side. And this is more where this is going here, it's a lot level, easier to put a building, a shed there.
Didn't look like the best,
know?
didn't look like the easiest spot to be, but I mean,
Yeah.
it just, I know you don't have a lot of space, but I mean,
Yeah.
it was tight. And you had rocks, you know, there were some big boulders.
Yeah,
I think
no,
maybe
no.
the boulders were back further or not.
Yeah.
You had the gas bottles,
What's wrong with this side?
just steep.
Like in here?
From here to here, it's the elevation and.
The elevation,
Yeah,
okay.
the elevation is quite high.
And your neighbor's a driveway backup
Yes.
area encroaches on your property.
Well, used,
Oh, doesn't anymore?
no.
Okay.
Can you estimate
You wanna
what
see
the
this coming up?
notch, what this jut out distance is
What's that, from,
from here to here, just roughly?
that's like 3
So
feet.
this can't,
Sort of 3 feet? Okay. So that leaves you,
'Cause this is from the.
that leaves you about 3.5 feet between this wall and this wall.
Yeah, we had to
which
be,
is-
from this point of the corner here, to the property is, certified plan is 10'7". Our setback was 10 feet.
Yep. Yep.
Cause that was all
Yep.
staked when they did the footings, staked when they did the walls.
So all I'm calculating is the 8
so this
feet,
is, you would have come in.
8 foot wide,
Yeah.
another 1.5 from the edge.
Yeah.
This is right
So
off.
that puts it 9.5 feet from the edge,
Yeah.
and this is your 10-foot line.
Yeah,
And then you said roughly
Still
from
think
here
there
to
was
here is
space
3
over
feet.
here?
that's the offset.
That
So
wasn't
that gives you
elevated?
3.5 feet between this wall and this wall,
Right.
which is just about barely enough to get in and,
Cut down.
Well, if I wanna come in on the
and paint and
side.
fix and,
This is over here?
This is,
but I plan to go on an end load.
Oh, yeah, your doors
You
are
know,
like
I got
this.
it's a single door glass.
No, there is
Yeah,
more space
yeah, your
there.
door's here, but I'm just saying the
If I needed
distance,
to, yeah, well, I
from-
had to keep that open because you got your utilities.
right,
On the line.
for services.
Yeah.
It's only that big, which is big enough. Okay, just curious.
I don't know how high it is.
Okay, you can read,
Slope.
you can read the 5 criteria that you've got on your application.
She couldn't, 'cause
Do you have them, Mr.
I
Lozey?
see. You couldn't.
Did you have the 5 criteria, or do you have the?
No.
Application?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't have, oh, okay. I thought you were looking for it, so I wasn't.
Oh, no. I didn't know what, okay, yeah. Okay, granting the variance would not be contrary to the public interest because not in the way of the neighbor's views or a house. It's not obstructing a view on that side of where there's a house right next to it. Number 2 is if the variance were granted, the split of the ordinance would be observed because a small lot and non-conforming lot. Number 3 is granting the variance would be substantial justice because we are beyond the shoreline setback of 50 feet and we are not where the water's edge being a small lot, only so much room to work with what we have for a non-conforming lot and the setbacks that we have on that lot. Number 4, if the variance is granted, the values of the surrounding properties will not be diminished because it is not, because it's a new shed and it's designed with the same building products as the new house. And number 5 is owning to special conditions of the property that distinguished it from other properties in the area. Denial of the variance will result in unnecessary hardship because no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property because there is no space to locate a shed without encroaching on a setback requirement. And 2, the proposed use is a reasonable one because the non-conforming lot is greatly limited by size and setbacks. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ready for some public to speak?
What's that?
We're ready for some public to speak.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions? Anybody ever had any more questions?
Just,
There's no comment on this map about drainage and,
About what?
Drainage.
drainage.
Oh, okay.
And, so if there's nothing, I'll say, planned today, I just want to note to the planning board to, pick up on what drainage will be.
Kevin, I didn't hear the last part of your sentence, the last sentence.
I was just saying, if there's no more information to talk about that today, just make a note to the planning board to,
He won't be going to planning. He's only here for a variance from us. That's it. The planning board won't be seeing this. Is that what you were saying?
yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's only doing the
It's
shed.
just a shed. so
He's got the
no-
house already, so.
Right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So,
The entrance to the shed
Yeah.
is from the Lookout Lane or from the lakeside?
Lookout Lane.
It's from Lookout Lane.
Yeah.
And the reason for not putting it on the other side of the house, you said, was because of the
The
steep
grade and the
slope?
drop off to the backside, yeah.
I was out there today, it didn't look like there was that by the house. if I look at where you are putting the shed here
Yeah.
and look at it over there,
Yeah, it's quite a grade, and it's a big drop off in the back to the neighbor. It's not, it would be obstructing views if it was built there. You know what I mean? If it was built on that side and it sits up here, it would be obstructing views, where the other side, it's not obstructing the view of the house, it's not interfering with some house looking at it.
but if you're in the neighbor's house, if you're looking towards the lake, and you're looking on the right-hand side, if you set it back by where that jog is on your house,
On the left side,
on the right side as you're facing the lake,
yeah, there's no, that side of the house, yes.
yes, that if you put it there, I didn't see how it would obstruct the view from the neighbor on the right side.
Yeah, his parking is right there, and it would be sitting way up here.
How high is the building?
It's only an 8-foot shed on the height, but then you get your small roof.
Okay,
So it's like a big, it'd be like a big pimple sitting up there.
and it wouldn't look like that on the other side?
No, because it's a lot lower.
Okay.
It's easier to build.
Okay, any other questions?
I have to come back to the same question, that I
Okay.
did not get it answered, and it got away from me. Drainage plan, rain drainage.
Rain drainage, they didn't.
Yes, you know, you're 50 feet from the water,
Yeah,
8 by 12
yeah.
times 2. There's a lot of water that's gonna come off of it at periods of time, and I'm just curious, did you think of a dry well or any?
There's stone,
Anything for-
there's impervious stone that's there by the propane tanks and all that now.
So I have to ask the board, the question is, how is drainage insured on the installation of this shed? Normally, that's a planning board thing, if it was a planning board thing. They would define how it was, and how deep, and what, this and that, right?
They
But-
would with a house. I don't know that, with it being a shed,
that it's needed?
and he's beyond that waterfront buffer, that it's a,
So that may be the, criteria that means it doesn't need to happen.
yeah, cause he's beyond that waterfront
Okay,
buffer.
if that's what you think, then,
That's what I'm thinking.
that-
Doesn't mean I'm right, but that's what I'm thinking.
okay.
And I would,
Well, it is, the front of the house is the 50-foot setback.
well,
But we have a variance for 42 some, of the wetland, but it's 50 feet, but we're way beyond that.
when you built the house though, because you're within that buffer, you must have had to do like rain catches or.
Oh, yeah, that's all stone in the front, and there's all stone on the sides, yep,
And along the side for
Yeah.
the,
yep.
next to the property that's,
And gutters.
Yeah, we still have work to do in the spring, because we just moved in October, so the hardscape and landscape is not done. But we have certain criteria in the front of the house that we had to do to meet the state, for the state permit of the drainage for the state.
That's my question, thank you.
That's been addressed, and it is on the plan, and
So the-
is in place.
so Kevin, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear everything you said. Were you asking about runoff?
Yes, I was
And
asking
the
about
impact of
runoff.
runoff, because there is a slope on that side,
That's correct,
right?
but since landscaping isn't quite done, this is new, that is new. I'm sure there'll be
Yeah.
proper stone and things for the
We can certainly
building
put
and
it
for
into
drainage.
the,
There's drainage stone.
you can add that if we decide to grant a request, that can be added into it anyway.
Yeah. He can add that as a requirement. It's not, it's,
Would it be the building inspector to define the details of that?
What you could
I would
also-
think he probably would, I would think so.
yeah,
So too, but, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a 2-inch pipe or a 3-inch pipe.
Right.
So that's up for
Right, no,
the
yeah.
experts, so.
Right.
yeah.
So I don't know quite how to add that, is just say, have the building inspector ensure that proper drainage is installed, if those words are
Yeah,
adequate
that
or
would,
not.
I think that would be, yeah, it would leave him a leeway.
And you mentioned something about gutters.
For his house,
Pardon?
for the house. I was saying that because the house is within the waterfront buffer, and we're getting off, we need to get back on the thing, but,
Right.
because the house is within the waterfront buffer, the DES and Lakes and Streams folks there,
But EPA,
thank you, would make sure that there was proper catchment for runoff. with
From the
gutters
house or
and
from the
rain,
shed?
Rain, cap barrels and, yes,
For the shed?
no, for the
Oh.
house.
Okay, what about for the shed? Because
It's what's
it's on that
underneath it.
side.
it's what's underneath it.
Doubling
But
on
that's what Kevin was talking about. that
Okay,
we'll-
that's-
We'll make a stipulation if,
Okay.
you know, if we get that far, there'll be a stipulation.
Doubling on what Raylene is asking, the shed is 8 by 12. Is it gonna be a slightly pitched, flat roof, or is it gonna be a gable roof?
It's probably gonna be a gable,
Okay,
because it's half the load of what I get for space.
sure, so the gable roof, I would assume,
That, yeah,
because it's 8 by 12, the ridge line will be running 12 feet. Okay, and with that, then each side would be shedding 4 feet of water onto the ground.
stone that's going, yep.
And you're putting stone in there for like a French drain.
Yeah, and there's already stone and pipe in there as part of the requirement, but we could put additional one, yes.
And with that stone and the French drain lead to a cistern of some sort?
You will go down into the front where there's already approval for drainage in the front.
So if
It's
I would,
already in place.
I would say this sounds like any drainage from the roof of the shed is thought out as far as it's going into an area that's gonna soak into the ground rather than,
It's not going to the water, to the lake.
it's not gonna cause erosion going into the lake.
Right.
Does that answer your question?
Right, I was just thinking about the runoff from the shed and the property next door, because there's no space between the edge of the shed
This is
and,
a cut like this, and then it goes up quite a bit from the area of.
right, I just wanted to make sure there wasn't, because when I went out there today, I wasn't looking at, was there how the land, the topography was from where the shed, edge of the shed would be into the next
Yeah.
property or down in front, rather it would, where the runoff would go.
It won't run off to
at
the
that
house next door
particular
that I
point.
saw.
Or into that property next door, even if not into the house.
That's not occupied, year-round, is it? The one next door?
Our neighbors are here.
And they, oh, they,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
No, it's not year-round.
Yeah, I noticed that all the snow was piled up and the driveway hadn't been cleared. Okay,
Okay, so are we all done with questions?
I'm okay.
No.
Okay, you can sit down.
Okay,
and
thank
we'll-
you.
We'll have the abutters come up. Okay, yep, just state your name and,
Okay, I'm Karen Generoso Regoli, and we own 11 Lookout Point.
Yeah, we're next door. My second
Your
sister,
name,
Mary.
your name.
Jim Generoso, Jim, I'm the brother. We have a younger sister who's not here tonight. The three of us have co-owned it for 10 years. My mother and father had it for 50 years
Passed
before
away.
us.
Okay,
So we've been there, and the generation after us is coming up all the time. Summer, we usually go up April through October, November, something like that.
where do you live permanently?
Massachusetts.
Thanks for coming up to this evening.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been up for 50 years, 60 years. My father bought it in the mid-60s, I think.
I say, thanks for coming up to this meeting.
Yes,
Well,
yeah.
thank you for having
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
you're in a fairly big lot. Is yours like 1.35? Your lot's
Yes,
pretty good size,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
yes,
That's
so,
why you don't really see,
well, originally, those were 3 lots that were made into one.
oh, you made them into one, okay.
My
So,
father- yeah,
the lower lot is a driveway that goes to the point.
right.
And that's where the next door neighbor is trying to come to that driveway.
Yeah, is that right? I have a picture of it on my phone if you wanted to see
No,
it.
they have.
Yeah,
Right, I
So
could
that
s-
lower area is a driveway that goes down into a point.
Yeah.
Right, I wondered when went down by the shed, and I could see that there was somewhat of a driveway, and then I could see it went out onto,
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
so we
I didn't
use
know
that.
what was there. I didn't
And we
walk
use
over.
that space a lot. That space is common, area. We do a lot of things on that lot as well.
there's a barbecue spot and
So we're concerned
horseshoes and
about
that, yeah.
the 2 feet coming that close to the driveway.
Yeah, because you have fairly good, I mean, it was hard to tell that it was snow, but I mean, you can come down, you drive right down through there, right?
Well, you can. We've
Right.
had things come down there, but we don't really
Okay, you
drive
don't
That
drive
driveway
down
doesn't
there.
go to the house. That driveway was, people that owned it 40, 50 years ago used to camp there. And they used to drive their camper down there, camp there.
Down on that point, out
Yeah.
on the,
My
Yeah.
dad bought it from them 40, 50 years ago,
Oh, okay.
something like that, yeah. So the two driveways work. We use the one to the left that goes to the house,
yeah,
right,
And my father did that for tax purposes.
right.
right.
Yeah, the one in your driveway is on the other side of the fence.
Correct.
Yes,
Correct.
yes. That's on the high side, but that area down below is a concern of ours, and that's why we're here.
Concerned because,
Well, we think the 2 feet is just too close to that driveway.
Yeah, we, for a couple of reasons, I mean, we have a vision at some point, either us or the kids that are adults now, to improve that driveway, to bring things down in there, tents and stuff for the younger kids, stuff like that. So we'd be worried to go from 20 feet to 2 feet seems pretty extreme to us. It's 90% of the variation that you're just knocking out. You're going from 20, what house is 20, you're going to 2. It just seemed to us to be pretty dramatic. Too much so to come that close to the house, to say nothing of the runoff or things like that that may or may not happen. The runoff of the shed didn't really matter. I always thought, the houses, we understand it was a small lot in the first place. My feeling was, well, then that should be known, the shed should be on the front or the back of the house. Why use the 20-foot setback as a outlet, I guess, to build a
what
shed?
is the distance from your property line to their house?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
What's
The
the
distance from your
distance?
property line to the corner of their
Should be 20
house?
feet, I would assume, right, not the setback.
It's slightly over
Doesn't-
10.
I think it's just 10. I think.
10
Right.
feet.
Yeah,
10 feet, okay, yeah.
because I think you came in
I'm gonna
from,
say with the 8
Yes, it
feet.
is. It's
Right.
10 feet.
Right. So the fact that it's as close as it is anyway, we just think it's coming even closer, which to us didn't make any sense from our angle, obviously.
And then how far from your property line to your house,
To the house,
to your, you said there was a driveway there?
there's a
Yeah.
drive that goes to the point, and then there's another driveway, that higher level, that's the other driveway that goes to the house.
And that's between you and he? That's the one that's between your house and his
The
house?
lower one
Right.
is, yes.
Yeah,
yeah, because you can't really even see your house, right, from, you see it much?
yeah, you can
Maybe a
see
little,
it.
I didn't
You can
look
see
that
it.
much, I was
Yeah.
looking mostly there, but
yeah,
you're
it's a
over
row
there
of
quite
trees,
a
there's
way.
a row of
Yes.
trees.
Down
Yeah.
and to the left a little bit,
Yeah.
as
Yes.
you're standing at the property line.
Yes.
It was down and to the left,
Yeah.
I
and
know when I went home and, looked at, I was surprised at the 1.35 acres, yes.
Yes.
Right.
But you combined 3 lots.
Right, that's
Yes.
right. Yeah, there's a lot on the other side of the house.
Yeah,
That's right,
because all the others are fairly small.
right.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions of the abutters?
Yeah, so your objection is that, I understand you're saying it's pretty close to your property line.
Yes.
Do you feel like rain runoff from the roof or something? is
Well, the
gonna
driveway
damage-
could be
Just
affected.
asking, you tell me what you think.
Well, we think that it's, the driveway is already kind of in, disrepair maybe. We just wouldn't want it to get any worse than it is.
Okay, and right now on the maps that we have, it's labeled as gravel. Is the driveway gravel or is it paved? It was under snow, so we didn't know.
It's gravel.
Yes,
Okay. And if you looked at where the grade level is of the proposed shed, as I recall, isn't that a little bit,
Higher.
oh, the grade level of the shed I thought was lower than where your gravel driveway is.
I don't know.
The grade level where the shed would go?
Excuse me?
The grade level where the shed would go?
The proposed shed
Yeah.
grade level, I thought was quite a bit
Lower?
lower than where your gravel driveway is.
I don't know the answer to that.
We
I
can
think the
ask.
abutter, I mean, the applicant say it was even.
Oh, is that,
Even.
oh, all
It's
right.
hard, it was hard to tell,
Yeah.
because it was, there's snow there, and
Right.
Picture.
it was very hard to, yeah, I took a picture, let me look and see what I got.
The concern is the runoff and the
Well, it's not just
effect on the gravel.
Well, that's
Would
part
the-
of the concern. The other thing is just the proximity.
Right, but I'm just asking, if the gutters or whatever were placed so that it did not run onto your gravel driveway, would that solve that piece of the problem, even if there's another piece?
I don't know to say that without seeing the design of it to know.
Right.
Whether, what the runoff.
No, but I'm just wondering if, that's why I was asking about the gutters and that kind of
Right,
thing.
right.
Because I was worried about it, and I didn't know that was your driveway. But I was kind of concerned, just, if I just had property there, I would
Right.
wonder, how is it sloped in a way, would it run onto my property and what? But if you ensured that there was gutters or whatever, so that it stayed on his property and ran off his property, then that's his problem, what it does to the ground or the dirt or whatever.
Well, I think
But
that
it
would be
stay
the-
away from yours.
I think that's the point about the offset. If the offset is, I guess in this case, 10 feet, I guess that would be the point. Why would we want it to be any closer for whatever risk is involved,
Okay,
right? I mean, if it, to me, the front or the back of the house, it's not our problem, right? And I know you talked about some of those alternatives, and I guess that's what we would prefer, obviously, being further away, already the 10 feet setback from the house. It just seemed to go to 2 feet, and then hearing 1.5 feet tonight is even more squeezed, I guess.
and how did you feel about the 2 foot,
The what?
when it was originally 2 feet?
We were gonna come up here anyway with the
Oh.
2 feet.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah. I mean, we were set to come up a couple of weeks ago for that reason, yeah. And as I said, I just thought the front and the back of the house would be obviously more suitable from our perspective. Why we would even entertain making a smaller setback than 10 feet didn't make any sense to me from the way the rules seem to be on paper, right? There's a 10-foot setback, there's a 10-foot setback. There's a reason for that.
It's just barely a 10-foot setback, yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
I do have a question. I don't know if it's related to this specific, you know, if you have the picture, you'd see it. When I took the picture, there were a couple of tanks outside. I don't know if they're air conditioners or heaters that are sitting outside the house.
I think they're gas bombs, aren't they?
Propane tanks?
Propane tanks.
Yeah, are those, is that normal to be within the 10 feet?
Yeah, I don't think we consider those
They're kind of, they're
Structure.
not permanent, so they can be moved.
Okay.
I think that,
That just
that's
came up
okay.
when we were talking about 10 feet, then I took the picture. I was like, these are on our side of the house, which mean they're within the 10 feet. So that was a
By-
secondary question, I guess.
By law, they need to be so many feet away from the
House, I understand that, yeah, I understand.
Okay, any other questions? We're all done?
Do you have anything else?
No, I
Nope.
think we
was
said
it.
what we came to say.
Okay,
Thanks.
okay, you can stay and
Okay.
please
do
do.
we have another butter?
I'm just a town resident.
Oh, you're a town resident, okay, I thought you were in a butter because you were here.
I have
you-
questions for
can
the
I do-
applicant.
Okay, you got a question for the applicant?
But did,
Yeah.
Okay, you can come back up.
do you have anything to say?
Well, I plan on putting a garage in now, that's less than the setback in the future, so I was just coming to
Gotcha.
check out what the
I'm looking at this plot plan. The proposed shed, if you're standing at the road, is on the right-hand side.
Left-hand side.
Well, if you're from the road looking towards the lake, it'd be on the right-hand side of the house.
No, it's on the
On
left.
the left.
If you're at the road looking at the lake, oh yeah, I'm so sorry.
Your other left.
We got it, Romeo, but continue, we're on the same page. No
Is
matter
there-
what you said, we,
Yeah.
Since this is on the left or the right side, my mistake, thank you very much. It is on the, I'm gonna make sure
Your ring side.
it's on the left side. If I'm, on the right-hand side over here, you seem to have a lot of room. Looks like the back around area from the neighbor's driveway, you said was removed. Why not put the shed over there? Is there a reason? And you
It's,
said it was because it's steeper?
yeah, and I have my, to have access to my heat pump service, my condensers are on that side. Also, the other side of the house was the 10-foot was because the grade was easier to construct it and keep it down a lower level and not a high off the ground visual from the street net. It's tucked in a corner, the part of the house hides it. My propane tank bottles are there. Eventually I wanted to be able to build, just a screen to screen the bottles, and, talked with the building inspector that, and he's the one that inspected the bottles to make sure they were in the right place.
Yeah.
And the lines and all that, and we adjusted to that. And that side would be easier without jeopardizing anything,
That-
on
I'm
that
sorry,
side.
that side would be easier. what?
Easier without jeopardizing anything for maintenance on my heat pump units that heat the house. And, so, it's just the way the lot is, is 10 feet. When I bought the place, the guy had got the variance years ago for that 10-foot setback, so they can build a house in there, cause it's a very tight lot, it was non-conforming, so we kinda like maxed it out. And, that's really the only side of the property to have access to the lake. We don't have, we have a shed here, where it is right now, there's really no access to go down to the lake on that side of the house. The only place we have access is the right side of the house. So when we go to do our landscaping on that side, we have to, because of the grade, the lot was like this, we have to build steps into it, the different plateaus level to get down to the lake. That's the only access we have for any maintenance to get down there. If we ever have to do anything with the well, it's in the front of the lake. It has to have access to get there. And that's the only place that we have access on the lot. The other side of the lot is 10 feet, and they had that variance when we went to go build the house. It was in place when we bought the lot, and that was one of the variances we had to get when we had to get a waiver from it was there, not a waiver, it was there when we bought the lot, and the previous owner had said it that way, knew that he had to have it. So, as far as drainage on that side, where the shed would go, it's easy to put in drainage. It's gonna be, if you look at this table, and you're gonna have half a roof that drains on that side. It is 1.5 feet or 2 feet. I mean, if I have to make the shed 7 feet, to meet 2 feet, I'll do it 7 feet, but it's easier to construct, and you only got half of a roof that drains on that side where it's easy, like I'm a builder, I build houses. We take care of drainage, we have stone all around our houses when we build our houses. We have to take that into consideration, because below that is the perimeter drain that takes care of water that perks down. So on a little shed like this, it's easy to put 2 feet of stone with with pipe underneath that collects it, takes it down and brings it into where it's supposed to go, which was designed by the water, by the state. We couldn't put a shed in the front because we can't, the state won't let you build anything down there. And we had to have our permit, and we have so many trees we can cut. We have to put in stone and pipe in the front. We have a lot of rules that we have to follow that they came out and inspected. And so our drainage on that side is in place, which takes care of surface water now, but when we do our finished landscaping, all that stone and pipe that goes in there will be incorporated in our time of frame. We have to do it on both sides of the lot. We haven't even finished on the other side of the lot, which we have to collect. We have to collect pipe and water, and we have to do some serious drainage on the right side, because the town, the road agent came out with me and said, look, we need to put in a pipe, a catch basin in it, because the water comes down around that curve of 9 Point Lane, it just roars right down onto my lot. In the old days, before anything was built there, everything drained onto that lot. It all drained down there, so all the drainage and all that had to be designed to accommodate that. So we have drainage gotta go in on that side, we need access on that side. That's why when I put my heat pumps, I've gotta have something if I ever gotta get to that part of the lake. I can't get it on the left side of the property.
Because,
We're only 10-foot setback.
Oh.
That's the only place I could put a shed. I can't put it in the front because of the state. I can't do it in the front because of my septic system.
you said, one of my questions was that it's an 8 by 12.
That's
Does it
what
have
I-
to be that large?
No, I mean, no, I mean, it's
You
8 by
said just now
12 is
something by
is the
7.
minimum what we could go. When I talked with the building inspector, he said if we keep it 8 by 12, you wouldn't have an issue. You don't need to go right up to 6 inches from the property line, like with our houses. Our house is, that one corner is 10'7", but we don't need to go right to the end. He said if we keep it in a couple feet, it's not a problem, as long as we stay within that feet and you didn't go for a variance.
Because you said something about 7 feet.
Yeah, if I had to go 7 feet and make it 2 feet.
Did you say that was a possibility?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. As long as I can get my snow blower and my essential things in there, because I have no access to it, I can't, and the other side of the property's gonna end up having access to get to the lake if I need anything for emergency or anything. I have a dock down there and I need to get, or if there's a well, I have to get to my well. When a pump ever goes, I gotta have access to it. That's the only side I have. I can't do it on the other side.
Could one more quick question. Could that shed be 6 feet?
No, no.
You couldn't get the equipment in that snow blower?
No.
Now, in the front, I mean, you got that big garage door in the front, right?
What's that?
In the front of your house, there is a big garage door, right?
No.
No,
Oh.
Not in the front, I mean, on the lake side, on the back side.
on the roadside.
On the lake side, there's,
That's a walkout door.
there's a
That's-
walkout,
It's a
but
finished
really-
basement.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a double door.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a finished basement.
Yeah,
so you
that's,
have no-
that's
it's
living
not a-
space, it's bedrooms,
That's a living okay.
yeah.
I have a question, because, I'm sorry, I was not able to go out and see your lot. The side you're putting the shed on, you said is you're hoping to put the shed on, I should say. You said is the most buildable as far as landscape goes at this point. The other side is too steep.
Well,
So if
Yeah.
you need to get to the well or anything else, how are you getting there on that side that's steep? Wouldn't it be better to put it on?
I say it's steep from where the shed would be to the neighbor's property. It's like from up here to the ground that's down there. And we have to put drainage pipe in there in the spring to take care of the water that comes off the road off Lookout Point Lane. And then it's easy to have access to get down there if we ever get a pull pump. On the other side, we can't. We have no access. We got our propane tanks. We have a little bit of space in front to put a shed. On this side, we couldn't put it.
But you could move the propane tanks.
And we couldn't put it, we can't get to that side.
Because of the propane tanks? Is that the reason why you can't
No,
use
we have our
that
septic
side?
in the front too. We can't go over our septic leach field
Oh,
with
the
equipment.
septic's on that side,
It's, the leach field is on that side of the house too.
but you can put a shed there, okay?
Well, this shed's off the leach field. We couldn't move it up further to be away. We're very, it's very tight. It's a lot of constraints on this since day one, even to try to
That's what
design
there
it,
is with the
you know.
lakeside. That's why we see you all here.
Yeah. It's a tough lot,
They all are.
yeah.
Right, I mean, you didn't get, there's no variance on your septic, they didn't, I know you can go down to 10 feet with the state. So they didn't get a variance to go closer to the line with your septic, so your septic system's 10 feet from your lot line all the way.
My septic's where it's supposed to be from the state,
Right,
yeah.
but it's
state.
10 feet from the line, it looked
For
like.
the tank, you mean, in the leach field?
Yeah, the leach field itself looks like it
It's
just goes
within
up,
that,
up to the line.
within
but-
the setback, yes.
Right, well, you're not within the setback, it doesn't look it on the map, I'm looking at the map, it looks like you're just inside the setback.
It's a pretty tough lot to build on, wasn't it?
Totally. Even tougher to do the hardscape and the landscape with drainage and all that we have in place to do that, but it's doable. I've been, it's been designed, and I've built hundreds of homes where we had houses like this and houses like this, lots.
Got a nice roof,
Yeah,
standing seam.
yes.
Okay, we have any other questions? Any questions, Kevin?
Nope.
Okay, so we have no more questions, so we're gonna, no, did the abutters have any more to say? Nothing? Okay,
Close the.
so I'm gonna close the case, and we'll open it up for discussion amongst the board members.
You've closed the public hearing portion, right?
Yeah, we're gonna close the public hearing, but, yeah.
Let's make,
So having not gone out, I have to rely on you guys because I was not able to make it out there.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I said, having not gone out to see it, I have to rely on y'all because you were out there, as to whether or not you feel this is the only spot for this shed.
There is not a lot, there are not a lot of spots for it, but it is, I mean, it is pretty tight. I mean, you know, the shed, it's, you know, they got a variance down to 10 feet on that side, and then now they want to put a shed over in, within that variance, which is, you know, it's tight.
There's no other place to put the shed.
Well, I don't know if you
see.
could, I think they could squeeze it up in the back corner, but that's just my opinion, but,
Define back corner.
well, not the back corner, I mean the front corner. I keep wanting to call that the back of the
Yeah,
house. but
right up
The
there.
lake
It's up in
side,
the, up in the right. If you're looking at it from the lake, if you're looking at the map, the way it's in our book right now.
Raylene
it would
up
be
here is
Right.
what he
It would be
suggested.
up
Right.
in that back right-hand corner, yeah, that would be the only,
Yeah.
you know, because there's a long ways from there to Lookout Point, because the way the line comes in, you know.
but then it would have to come in, be a variance for X number of feet.
Yeah, I mean, you could
Couldn't
do,
put
you could
20
do
feet in there.
2 feet off the back line or something like that, and, you know, 5 feet off the sideline or something like that. I mean,
If you did put it up there, you'd have the same problem as far as, speaking for the abutters, it would still be up next to the
Kevin, I'm
Well, you
sorry.
could come in.
gravel road.
But you could come in at least 5 feet from that gravel road, maybe,
Well, okay,
you know, 5,
Yeah.
you could.
but the bottom line, the applicant has said that he's not considering that option,
Right,
I believe.
but that's,
So,
I mean, that's an option we could give him, but I mean, that's,
I guess, you're looking at me, my observation, the abutters gravel
Kevin?
road is,
Can you,
the abutters gravel road is not a daily used gravel road, for lack of better definition. If you was to walk down that gravel road path, whatever, you'd see the existing house, probably 24 feet wide, and it's 10 to 13 feet off the edge. So that's what you see now. If the shed was there, you walk down the road and you see 12 feet, that's a foot and a half off the line, then you see another 12 feet, that's 10 to 13 feet off the line. So there's that impact, from a visual drainage, point of view, so. It's just an observation. If that was a daily used well-maintained gravel road, it would have a different impact, I believe.
But
That's
they
not a
also
gravel
said they
road, it's a
might,
gravel driveway. That gravel driveway,
But it's,
when you say gravel road, it's a
it's
gravel.
not, okay, but the bottom line is that it's not a daily used road by any means.
It's a driveway.
No. It's a.
Sorry.
no, it's not their driveway, it's a driveway out onto a point.
It's a pathway to the point. Their daily driveway is up the road. to-
It's on the other side
I
of the
believe
fence.
on the right.
The daily driveway was on the other side of that
Correct.
wooden fence, which doesn't show there.
When you park your truck, right over here, I thought there was a driveway,
No, there was a,
and the snow was banked up against it.
well, there is a driveway, but it was over like, the fence is like here, and the driveway is over here, like here. This was this is another road. But they also did say they might use it more, you know.
Understood, I'm just stating what's there.
Right
today.
now, they're not necessarily using it every day, but they,
Tough call.
And then, I guess my last comment, starting from page one, just some cleanup. The application says 2 feet, Dale's message says 5 feet, and it says a garage.
Right.
So, and then the application says 2 feet, and the plan says 1.5.
Yeah.
So there probably ought to be one number in our,
I think the five, I
approval or
think,
denial or whatever,
I
right?
think the 5 foot is left over because you were on the other side then. So that was the 5 foot when he was over on the right side, I guess.
I'm all good with it as long as
Right.
there's one number.
Right, right.
Should be clear.
I also had a question on the application where you put building shed and you have it in like quotes. It's like, is it a shed, a real shed? Or are we supposed to go with shed? On the application?
Yeah,
So I can clarify that, I'm sorry for interrupting, but that was actually, so, I filled in that section, Mr. Wells came in, sorry if I said your name wrong.
Yeah, that's all right.
Came in and we went verbatim off of the denial, but the more I started talking, so I wrote in verbatim off of what the denial was, so, but then we talked a little bit more, and I said, oh, it's a shed, so I whited it out, so it's not really in quotes, so I.
Oh, okay.
It does kind of look like that, and
It
so
did,
that's kind
so
of
I was
why-
like,
Yeah, so I whited it out, because the more we talked, I'm like, oh, this isn't the garage, it's a shed.
Gotcha.
So I wrote in shed, so that's all I think.
thank you for clarifying that, and I
You
apologize.
better get more white out.
Yeah.
So it's not- no, we didn't.
It needed a second coat, that's all.
And just to refresh my memory, because I may have missed it in the conversation, it went from 2 foot to 1.5 because,
Well, the plan says 1.5. And I see 2, and I see 5 in other documents.
oh, okay.
Originally, it was gonna be on the right side when you look down, and that was gonna be 5 feet. That's why Dale put
Right.
5. And then, I guess, they put 2, but on the surveyor's plan, it shows it as 1.5,
Oh, that's the difference, okay,
which I would assume is probably the more accurate one.
right, okay, thank you.
So you had proposed it for the other side initially?
yeah, then when I first put it in, then I realized that I gotta do drainage and I have to maintain access to that side of the lake.
I'm sorry,
I realized after I first did the first plan on that side, that if I put the shed on there, I wouldn't be able to service my heating system, and I wouldn't be able to service the front part of the lake to have access to the lake.
Or vehicles bringing boats down
No,
and that type of thing?
no, just to have pedestrian access and to be able to, if I ever have to get to my well, to service my well.
and the right-hand corner that was mentioned in front of the house up towards the road,
I don't,
When Terry was saying
what Terry was saying, suggesting.
this side.
oh, yeah, no, it's because it's like this, it's all steep, you can't put a shed there. That would be more of a visual issue with the whole neighborhood, to put it up there, and it is tucked down but not beside the house. It's tucked in on the side of the house. And I couldn't really get it up on there, on that
And
portion.
if you moved it down and towards, then it would be a visual issue for you.
What's that?
Moved it towards the lake,
Well, it's where, I'm in the only spot that I can put it on that side of the property,
Raylene, all of this is.
the only
is-
spot.
Is the waterfront barrier?
right, no, I understand that, yeah.
The only little piece of land that's there that I have that's to do anything with that.
Well, that's not totally accurate, because
Well-
you can't put it on the other side.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't be able to have access to it, there's a hardship on that side.
Couldn't go down and around and up. I'm just thinking if you had it over here, I don't know where your things are that you're talking about getting access to, but couldn't you go down this way and across your property and get access to them?
I have to go down on the right side,
Even if your shed is only 8 by 12,
yeah,
and you've got, is it 20 feet on this
but
side?
it's like this, it really is not 20 feet, it's like, not like you have property 20 feet, it's flat, and that's where the 20 feet is, you know, it slopes like this. My property is, right, it's a 20-foot setback, property line, but the line's over here,
But
but
you
the
only
grade goes like this.
You only got so much usable land.
Right.
You could put in, what, piling stilts?
Well,
That's what he
those-
doesn't want to do.
Raylene, have you seen the property?
Yes, I
Did you
was
go
out, I
today?
drove past there today, and I didn't walk around the property, but I stopped up on the road and looked at it.
And Teresa, you have not seen.
Correct, I have not.
Kevin, have you seen it? In the interest of
That's a good point.
properly voting on this, would it be wise to table the application subject to the ZBA members meeting at the site so that we could be looking at the plan and the site and more properly being able to decide?
I'm good with,
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I think that's a very good
It
idea.
probably is a good idea to go over and look.
Maybe
Because
like,
then Mr. Lozier would be there, and we could do it on a Saturday, right, or something?
well, that's, do you want a motion to that effect?
Yes.
well, and it's a continuous.
Yeah, just continue it.
So, how much time would we need for, would it be this weekend or next weekend, or what would the case be?
Well, our
I don't
next,
think you're breaking ground this, right away.
we would be,
No, no.
point of
but-
order though, we would be continuing until April, because our March meeting, we are not, doing any business on. Are we within the legal timeframe, because we've already opened the hearing on this?
No, we can continue, yeah, we can continue for,
Well, if it's
Yeah.
continued, does it have to go to the next schedule, or can it be, we're continuing to a actual on-site meeting. It doesn't have to coincide with meeting dates, it can be like
oh, no.
next
no,
Saturday, the Saturday after, or
View,
something
no,
like
to
that.
go to look at it doesn't have to be.
Okay,
So,
so,
We've done
you-
that before.
We need to continue the meeting to a date certain, which would be our next meeting date for hearing this, because we have to have the hearing in public where it can be recorded. As a board, we are legally able to meet together with somebody to take minutes,
I'm not gonna go through this.
at a site to see to totally see the
Yeah.
place and discuss it.
yeah,
And then bring that back to that specific meeting date.
okay. So, the question that I'm proposing right this moment would be, what's convenient for all to meet at the site? Would it be this Saturday weekend, or the next Saturday or Sunday, whatever, when people have an opportunity that they're not working, or whatever the case might be? Raylene, do you have a time constraint, like you work on weekdays or something?
I'm going to be gone next weekend. I'm going to be gone this weekend and next weekend. I could be, I
Okay,
don't have my
Yeah,
calendar
Mr. Chair,
with me.
may I speak?
sure.
Yes, go ahead.
I know what I have there for the property that I can do, the NL have access. I'm not gonna wait till April on this and that, so just the issue, then I'm gonna pull the application. I'm just not gonna do it, it's just not, I'm not gonna do it. I'll find another way to handle my snow blower and the other issues. It's just, that's the only spot it can go. I don't wanna wait 3 months, have to go look at it. You went out, looked at it, you saw the constraints, you have certified plans from surveyors, that's what I have. That's the only place I can put it. So if that's the issue, then I will just pull the application. That's all.
Just so you know where I'm coming from on this, and I apologize that I wasn't able to get out to see it. I typically do go out and see, and I'm all prepared at a meeting. Where we are talking about cutting down a setback so close,
Yeah.
and I wanna be sure in my own mind, for my own self, that it is there. I am very much for people being able to do what they would like to do on their properties. I own land, and I'm the type that, I don't like other people telling me what to do with my own property. I just don't like it. But when it's that close to a property line, I wanna be sure that what I'm doing is the right thing.
No, I understand. I understand. I'll just leave it outside, that's all. I'll
Before
just leave my
we
stuff
do that,
outside.
why would we have to go to April? Why can't we do it in March?
March, we do not have a business meeting date. It is for the election of officers. And because we have a member who is not going up for reelection, we will have a new member coming in, and that person would have no information at all on that case. At all, and they would not have any information on our
Well, we could-
rules and regulations, but they're not, she wouldn't even have the ordinance, zoning ordinance. That person needs time to come up to speed. It's not fair to
But,
put them into
I
a
mean,
case.
Kevin would stay on for that, if we, I mean, that's the way we've done it in the past, usually if we have an alternate, sometimes we just carry it.
So, just confirming, we can't set a special date. For instance, if we went there Saturday, next Tuesday, could we have another meeting? Is
She
that
won't
at
be,
all possible?
Well,
she won't
Raylene's
be
gonna
here.
be missing, if we wanna go there on a weekend, Raylene's gonna be missing too, but.
But
But
Won't
that
the-
wasn't an answer to the question. Can the zoning board
Yes.
Yes, we can.
schedule a special meeting?
Yes,
That could be the 22nd or March 1st, for instance.
I don't know that we can schedule that close to the elections.
Zoning
Fine.
board pushed sorry, planning board pushed their meeting up after the election, which is 16th.
Right, that was my concern.
Because usually, I mean, we meet on Tuesday, that's election day, so.
No, I meant
Right,
7 days from now. Could we meet 7 days from now?
No, I think you get the.
no, we could meet, because if we've already noticed,
Meet at the site or meet for voting?
Here, voted.
Don't you have that 20 days or something, you gotta notice everybody?
no.
Notice is given. Once the notice is given,
It's
Yeah,
given.
this is continued, so,
Oh,
this is not, there's not another notice.
Would that help the applicant?
No, I'm gonna pull my application, that's all.
Okay,
I'm
Just
it's
trying to
just-
help.
Yeah, I know, it's just that it's no problem.
So even if we were all able to get together to go out to see your property within the next week,
We can't, I've paid a lot of money already with surveyors and everybody to show where we go, the right places with the setbacks. That does not suffice, then that's fine. Vote no. I'll pull my application, it's not a problem.
it's,
Okay, well, that's your choice.
are you suggesting you're gonna pull the application?
Yes, yeah, because I've spent enough money on this already and it.
Well, we're
it's-
trying to
I
accommodate,
understand that.
we're trying to accommodate the
Yeah.
situation
I understand that.
to where we will see and work with you. Okay.
But
We're
we're
trying
not
to-
gonna have enough people here to vote, so.
well, you
Well, we-
will have,
Well, next Tuesday, Renee,
well, because, well,
have one member who's absent, who may
but
be able to
next
make it.
Tuesday, Renee, are you here next Tuesday?
oh, what, I've just closed my calendar.
Raylene.
Raylene, it would be the 22nd, because today's the 15th,
Yeah, I can make that.
the 22nd.
Yeah, no, that's the week I'm gone.
But Bonnie might be here, and even if she's not, 3 members,
Yeah.
it would
Can
be,
do
it would
it,
be 4,
right.
so we still would have a
Right,
quorum.
you'll have a quorum, even without me and without Bonnie. And Bonnie may be back by the 22nd, I'm not sure.
Before you pull your application, I'm making the suggestion that that those that can take a look on Saturday, maybe at a certain time, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, whatever the time is, meet with you, take a look at everything, and then we hold another meeting on Tuesday, if that's fine, and we can vote on this. Before you pull your application, let's wait until next Tuesday. We might have a final decision right then.
Does that work for you?
And you can do
And
it
would you
with
show
4
up
people.
Tuesday?
But I show up Tuesday, but I have to be there Saturday. What day you coming?
You live there,
Yes.
don't you?
Yes,
Well, it's okay.
so I'll be there.
He'll be there Saturday.
Saturday, what time?
Earlier the better, there's weather coming in.
All right, what, 9
Well,
o'clock,
I'm-
9:30,
you know-
10 o'clock, what's easy?
I can go anytime because I'm retired, so I could be there anytime during the week. So, between now and then, so that we can be out of the weather. I'm good with
What
that.
day is it best for you?
The day I can,
You're pretty flexible.
I'm almost retired.
Oh,
Kevin, what about you? When are you open?
That's why you built that
When are
house,
you
yes.
open?
If it's early, possible Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay. I'm open.
I'm good, I'm.
You're open.
I'm open.
Okay, well,
I
let's
don't- I
pick a
don't-
day
I
then.
don't
Thursday,
prefer-
Thursday morning,
Thursday at what, 10?
10 AM?
Does 10 work for you?
Check, there's weather.
Huh?
Thursday? No, this is
No.
Thursday.
This Thursday.
Check, I know.
Is Thursday
They were
bad
saying
weather?
it
rain
wasn't
like
coming in
hell.
until Friday.
Oh, is Thursday gonna rain?
Thursday,
I
Friday.
think Thursday
Friday.
is gonna
Okay.
rain.
Well, so what? Rain doesn't, rain, big deal.
Well,
We've
Put a
been out-
raincoat on.
We've been out in the
we've
rain
been out in the
before.
rain before. believe me.
Thursday's supposed to be 60 degrees.
And no rain until that night, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do
All right,
that.
Thursday, 10 AM,
10 AM,
10 AM.
That's
10 AM on Thursday.
Okey
Okay.
dokey. Raylene, can you make that?
I have to check my calendar.
Okay.
If you're not
I know I'm not leaving until Thursday afternoon, but I can't remember if I have an appointment on Thursday morning I have to keep.
And if you aren't gonna be here till the,
All right.
The vote, it doesn't really matter.
Okay?
All set?
All right, Thursday at 10.
All right, so wait. You don't have to, I mean, you don't have to be here for that, but, Mr. Chairman, I move that we continue this case until Tuesday, March 22nd at 7 PM for a special hearing with a, I'm sorry, February.
Thank you.
Thank you, February 22nd, I stand corrected. 22nd at 7 PM with a planning board site visit for Thursday.
ZBA site visit.
Oy vey, can you tell I'm tired? A zoning board site visit for the 17th of February at 10 AM.
Second.
Thank you. Do not
Okay, we have a
ask me to
motion
restate it.
to continue this hearing to February 22nd at 7 PM, and we are scheduled for a site visit at on 2/17/20, at 10 AM. 10 AM, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay,
All right?
That's been moved and seconded, voting.
okay, we have a it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Okay,
Good.
so we'll see you.
All right.
All right.
Jesus.
Good suggestion, Mike. Oh, we still have other business.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have more business?
You can come to the, I mean, you guys can come up on that day. It's not,
One of us will be there.
right, you can come up. The abutters can be there.
Do we still?
Okay.
You can be there Thursday for the sidewalk.
Yes.
The se-
Correct.
The 17th is our site visit at 10 AM.
On Thursday.
On Thursday, yeah, the 17th.
And the 22nd is the meeting.
All right?
Okay, we got to vote on minutes.
Yep, we gotta vote on minutes.
Do we have a minute? I gotta pee.
Got it. You may go to the bathroom. So will you pick me up Thursday? Or
Yeah, I'll pick,
maybe we could even meet over at Romeo's and I'll ride over together if you want. I don't like taking my car out to there. Too low to the road.
we were out there the other day, and a big, fairly good-sized trailer truck came in there. But it's not too bad, I mean, they stay out on that other main road isn't too bad to move around. You know, what's that one, what is that one, Lakeview? Is that Lakeview?
Lakeview and Mountain Road goes in.
Right, Mountain Road comes in, then Lakeview is the
Lakeview
big
goes
loop,
around,
yeah.
That's all,
Because there was a
the
trailer,
road's great.
there was a trailer truck in there the other day, I thought, wow, that's, it's not too bad on that.
No, it's not. I remember when that road was gravel.
Oh, I know it. How long did your family go back there, way back?
My dad bought it in '60.
Oh, 63, oh, so you've been a long time.
We're in Massachusetts.
Sorry.
We're in Massachusetts.
Clinton.
And all it's just a little ways.
Yeah,
Exit 26.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Over by, so I fish that reservoir all the time. All the Lakers. The Lakers out there.
Have you?
Oh, yeah, I used to live in April.
Did you get a chance to get a hold of?
I think I'm gonna make a motion to
Oh, yeah, it's a great spot.
reconsider that. We should just make a motion to reconsider.
We were in
That's fine, but my crutch is really.
Everyone good with
It's
minutes?
okay to open the meeting.
Thank you. Okay.
That's why I'm just gonna make a motion to reconsider. I wanna make a motion.
Very similar to
Chairman,
You're back.
I'm back.
Okay, we're gonna continue our meeting. Oh, sorry. That's okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item of business is,
Okay, we have a lot of minutes.
so Kevin, none of these were approved at all before? Okay.
Go back.
And there's this
Four,
one.
1/20/18, that one, we weren't.
Right. So we start with 9/21/21.
And we haven't voted on minutes that long,
Correct.
that far back? Wow. Which one was 9/21? Who was it, who was attending?
Let's see, oh, that was the reconsideration of, the water.
Water cost again. All of these were sent out to us for approval, so
This
y'all
was the
should,
water cross.
y'all should have seen them.
I knew that.
I think that was the only, was that the only one on there?
There's quantity 4 of them, right, Joe?
Correct.
Yeah,
You wanna look at it?
I've already looked at them and
yeah, I looked at this one earlier.
I'm okay with it. I remember now.
Okay,
Raylene, did you see it?
Did you see the email? with
Yes, I
all of the
looked on
minutes?
them.
Okay.
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 Motion approve on the, September 21 meeting,
Second.
the minutes.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve, the minutes for 9/21/21. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Now we're gonna move on to the 10/19 minutes. That was on your road, Shore Drive. That was, Mr. Hale,
yeah, with the
the guy, yeah, with
Yeah, we looked at that.
driveway move.
the well, no, he didn't move the driveway.
No, it was the
He
septic.
had that
was-
septic system, it was
Yeah.
too close to the lady's line, and then they made it,
Oh, yes, yes.
they made a
Yeah, you were
circle out
there,
of it.
you were there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a new house and septic there
All
now.
right, motion approved. The minutes of October what?
yeah, of, October 19th.
October 19?
Okay, we have a second?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve the minutes for 10/19/21. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then we have the 11/16 minutes. This was the one that was up on, off of Cooper Hill Road. He wanted to build a garage. we were out there, we got soaking wet.
Had all the boulders in
We
the
had
yard,
bad feeling, yeah, he had big boulders in the yard,
and then he had wetlands.
he had wetlands, yeah, that was the one we,
His lot was shaped weird, so he
Yeah.
really had no place to go.
yeah, that was the one. Let me see, was Kevin was out there.
Was I there?
I was absent and, you were present.
Yep,
Okay.
Kevin
Yeah,
was
and
here.
he had
So
gone to that.
I won't vote.
I don't think I was here.
Nope, you were here, Raylene,
I was?
yep,
Yep.
yep, and Kevin was
Motion to approve
here.
the minutes of the 16th of November, 2021.
Second.
I don't know, we got like 6 people there, but maybe Kevin sat. You might have sat just up here, I don't know. Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve, the minutes of 11/16/21. All those in favor? Okay, all those, you're
I wasn't there.
abstaining? You're just abstaining.
I wasn't there.
Right, so, okay. So 4 voted yes. And then we have the minutes for 1/18/22, which you weren't there, I wasn't there, and Teresa weren't there.
Wait a minute, that was the mask one.
That was November?
Yeah, well, that was, January 1st, January 18th.
Raylene, you and I were the
January
only ones here, remember the
Oh,
ma-
that was it. I was
yeah.
gonna say.
No, that wasn't the one, that was a December one, there was no minutes for that one, that was a
Oh,
December one.
oh, okay, okay.
So
This
we're,
was the
now
one
we're
that-
looking at November?
No,
No,
January,
January 18th, 22.
Apologize.
because November's November's meeting we
Yes,
just
yes,
dealt with.
that's right.
Right.
January's.
You weren't there, I wasn't
December's
there,
meeting
Teresa.
didn't happen at all.
All right, and then
January's meeting.
You were there, you wanna
shouldn't
look
have
at it?
happened.
I've already reviewed all these.
Okay, all right. Where were you, Terry?
Well, we were all missing.
You're the boss.
Well, we had to wear a mask, we didn't.
So I'm the only one that was attending that, is that correct?
No,
Well,
that-
Raylene was there and Bonnie was.
So can only 2 people vote on it? Or does it have to be 3?
It should have been a quorum to start with, and it wasn't.
Yeah, the meeting really
there was
wasn't.
3 people here that night, weren't there?
But
Yeah, but it wasn't.
He is an alternate, he is not an elected member of the board from the public. In order to have a meeting open, you need a quorum of your board, your elected board.
Oh, I never
But
knew
if he's
that.
an alternate sitting for a member of the elected
He
board?
can only be seated
He could
by
only be
the
seated after you
chair.
open the meeting,
That's it.
and you only had 2 people to open the
And the chair or the
meeting.
vice chair, and we were both absent from it.
All right, so how are we voting on this?
I'm not.
I'm not,
So what do we do at the meeting? Minutes?
I don't
we
know.
can wait on those, if you wanna wait on those aren't,
I'm happy with the fact that you went through those.
yeah, I mean, these 3 were good.
We gotta, I think we still gotta figure some stuff out with that last meeting.
Right, I'd like to,
Yeah,
I would,
fair enough.
All right,
you know, I would like to make a motion on that last meeting to reconsider that. I know, maybe he doesn't wanna reconsider here, but I would like to make a motion at least to reconsider this, the meeting of 1/18/22. Because, I mean, he wasn't even there was some confusion, he didn't, if he's not even there, he can't even object. I mean, you guys could've continued, I think you even thought you could've continued, it was not life and death, I mean, it was a shed. It was there, so, I mean, you could've continued it and waited, you know, and maybe he would've come in, because, I mean, he would've had a right to object to only 3 board members and not a full board, but he wasn't even there, it was only the abutter, you know, so. I would like to make a motion to reconsider that hearing. He'll have the option if he wants to reconsider it, but we should keep the option open for him as a board to say that we will reconsider that hearing in, I guess we would reconsider in April, right?
We could, my question.
reconsider on
though-
his application.
Right.
My question though is, first off, I would like to know if it is by law okay to hold a meeting when only 2 people from the board, the elected board, are present and the alternate. Is that okay? Because if it's not okay, then we aren't rehearing it, we're hearing it for the
Right.
first time.
Right.
If it was okay, then should be offered the opportunity to rehear it.
Right, so
But one way or another, we need to find out whether or not this was okay.
I can call them and check.
It has to be either one of you two, because I tried calling and they would not speak to me, because my name's not on the list.
Yeah, so you, Teresa and I talked,
NHMA, New Hampshire
Oh,
Municipal
to get,
Association.
to see if the meeting was legal.
Correct.
Right.
Because it has never happened before.
Who can
And
call?
all the time I've been
The
involved.
chair could call.
That you?
I think Kevin could call.
Yes, and the TA. or
Kevin, you gonna call?
TOS.
I'd have no problem calling. Teresa and I just talked about that yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to yet, but,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to call, or either or, that's,
All
I
right.
have no problem taking care of it.
So you're gonna be calling on 2 elected full-time members were present and 1 alternative.
With no chair.
However, without a quorum on the members.
Right, there were no members to open the meeting to appoint the,
And no chair or vice chair, that's key.
Right.
Because that's the one who's supposed to appoint the alternate. So that means there was not even the person who appoints the alternate here.
All right,
I'll get an answer for you, I'll figure it out.
okay.
okay, so, but I'll still make a motion to reconsider the hearing. Just to protect, because his 30 days is running. I don't want him to find out that was a legal meeting, and now he has no alternative because his 30 days have run by, and he can't, at least we could say to reconsider it to protect his rights.
I don't know if you need to go that far yet, Terry. You could make a motion to have Kevin call.
No, I think you could make a
And do
motion.
all
you-
that.
You could make a motion to reconsider the hearing. Because I remember back in July,
But if the meeting is legal, then there's no
Yeah.
reason to reconsider.
Right.
Unless he
well,
wants to.
he wasn't here, he didn't have a 5-member board, he didn't have any rights to say anything, so,
But it's,
But he had the right to
that's
be here.
behind us.
right, but I think
Has
that
he
was.
asked for a 30-day review?
So, my conversations with him have been,
Does he have 30 days to?
so I
respond?
initially talked to him, because Terry and I had discussed after the meeting, possibility of maybe rehearing it, so I said that option's on the table.
Yeah, but is
For
he,
the applicant, but he said that he, so forward, he said he didn't have the bandwidth to have to go to another meeting. I said, okay, well, just let me know if you want to, you heard. He did call me the other day and say, hey, he kind of went back and forth on what he wanted to do. So he hasn't really been definitive, so I told him he's gotta get an answer to me on what he would like to do in terms of.
Right, my motion would be reconsider it, it's up to him if he wants to reconsider it, it's not something we're gonna force him to do. It's just protecting his the 30 days of running, and I don't want him to end out,
Can we extend the 30 days? I mean, I would be more willing to extend the 30 days, after we hear the decision of the NHMA, and then extend the 30 days to allow that decision.
I
to
think the one
occur.
way we can extend it is to make a motion to reconsider, I think that's
That's an easier thing.
the
But
easiest.
if that meeting is confirmed okay,
Rehearing it is
How
still
about-
okay.
pardon?
Rehearing it is what we would do.
How about motion to continue?
Can't, because was already closed by
Right, it was
bond.
already closed.
So it has to be a motion to rehear, or it will end up, if it was a legal meeting and he wants to rehear it, or it will be like it was never done, and we will hear it for the
If
first
it
time.
was legal, why not wait until it's determined legal before making a
Well,
motion?
Because
it
we,
wasn't real, it wasn't the
time
problem,
might expire.
it wasn't the problem,
But then I'm saying extend the timeline.
We can't extend the timeline.
but the problem I have is,
Why can't we?
he
extend
wasn't
We can
here.
rehear, but we can't extend.
the
what I
30
understand.
days? We can't extend the 30 days to 35 days? I mean, you're
No,
gonna call
it's
tomorrow,
a statutory,
today.
it's a, it's a statutory time limit set by this,
By you
by
guys.
by the,
So what are those guys?
by the RSA, so.
All right, okay, all
Okay,
right.
I make a motion that we reconsider this case, and it's a motion to reconsider it The applicant will have the option if he wants to have it reheard, but we will make a motion to reconsider it.
Second.
Okay. So there's a motion and a second to reconsider the case from 1/18/22.
Which is the case number here.
And we would reconsider it in April, right? At our scheduled April, what's that date? Kevin? April 19th meeting.
Okay, call for the question. or the-
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, all those opposed? Oh, are you in favor or opposed?
Post.
Okay, you're opposed?
And I'll abstain.
Okay.
So we got 3-1,
3-1 and one abstention.
okay. I have make a motion to close the meeting.
Okay.
Well, we've gotta find out if there's any other business first.
Oh, my apologies.
I don't have
Yes.
anything, my main thing was the calendar, and, we talked about that at the meeting.
Right, the March
Yeah.
one, yeah.
To get that squared away, that was my big.
Okay, anybody have anything else? No?
Nope, it was
And
a
I'm
motion.
done as of this meeting, correct?
Yes,
Does the next person step in?
yes,
after
thank
the
you for your
election in
service.
March?
Thank you, Renee.
Well, we thank you, Raylene.
Oh, this is it?
Make
We
sure
won't
I'm
see you
done.
again?
I'm done.
What do you mean you're done?
Give her the box of candy, Raylene.
I was gone a lot in the fall, and I lost track of time, that I was done on the 22nd and didn't register to be reelected.
Oh, so you didn't? Oh, okay. I wonder why
You
you
wanted
weren't.
to, but you
I
forgot.
wonder why you
Yeah,
weren't
I
there.
lost track of time.
But you can be an alternate.
What?
You can be an alternate.
Yes, you could be.
Oh, you can have more than one alternate.
yeah.
Oh, they want many.
Yeah, you schedule them.
There's not enough alternates.
Kevin wants more alternates.